do we think of this then? So what we've got here is the Skoda Octavia 2021 VRS or RS, depends what you want to call it yourself. I've always called it a VRS, so in my mind it's a VRS. And no, it is not an Octavia, it is an Octavia. That's exactly what it is. So this particular one belongs to Western Motor Skoda here in Drogheda. So what I've decided to do with the car is, instead of just generally reviewing it and going over it, I'm going to compare it to the latest edition of the Golf GTI and which one should you buy. Personally, my bias is towards this, but I'm going to get into explain that. Let's go. Now, so as we are about to get going, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this car. Now, this car isn't a diesel variant. This isn't one of your average, GTD comparisons. This is the fully fledged 2-litre petrol, 245 brake horsepower GTI. Yeah, it is a GTI. Let's just be honest here. It is the same thing. The interior is the exact same. There's no real major differences. Even the seats are the same. Just have VRS on them instead of GTI. The only real thing I will tell you that's different about the car is the badge. That's just being honest. It's the only real difference. The Skoda, however, has taken on the better traits of its GTI cousin. What I mean by that is that the new GTI has all these touch sensitive buttons on the steering wheel, and I'm just going to be open and honest, I don't even think that's a great idea. I think it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. They get dirty, then they'll obviously start to break. There's nothing wrong with buttons. There was never anything wrong with buttons. So why did they feel the need to take them away? You know what I mean? I understand that they want to move forward and they want to push their new design language. However, not for me, and I guarantee you 90% of the people who will buy a GTI will not want that. But in saying that, it is spread across the whole Golf range, so it's something you're going to have to think about when you are buying a Golf. Now, in this model, and why I would go for this instead of a GTI, is simply because Skoda just have a great name as, just respectful. Do you know what I mean? So if you pull up outside someone's house, they're going to go and they'll subtly approve. GTI will get the exact same reaction, but this just has the little bit of extra coolness about it. This is more the everyday dad's car. That's the only way I'll describe it, because let's put it this way, what 25-year-old can afford a 50 grand car? You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, you're looking for something quick that you can get your kids in, there's Isofix in the back, there is a huge boot compared. It's literally double the size of the Golf boot. Where am I now? I have no idea where I'm going. But anyway, I'm just going to stop parking on. I'm going to put it into sport mode. Oh my days! Holy God. One thing I wanted to get onto was just the sheer ferocity, is that even a word? Intensity of the car. Like, it just fucks off. It just picks up its shoes and runs. The gearbox in it is sublime as well. Every time you touch it, it just goes. Jesus Christ. Now, the noise you're hearing right now is artificial. I'll put it out there that the noise this car generates is 100% artificial. Due to WLTP standards, now near enough every car that's sold has to have an OPF filter on it, which basically destroys all exhaust noise, just destroys it, completely wipes it out. This car, more or less from the outside, sounds like a hairdryer. Like if you drove past someone, you would probably think it's a hybrid instead of thinking it's, a sport model. But every car is like that now, and to be honest with you, I had a little conspiracy theory. I thought that the car manufacturers and the whole European body over emission regulations have this conspiracy to try and dull down the petrol and fossil fuel cars to push you more into electric. And it's kind of working, but at the same time, I don't know, I like it. I suppose it's only for the driver that you can hear that. You can't, like, if you're outside, obviously you can't hear. Well, I'm hearing it here, but it's like playing a game. That's what it's like. It's like playing the PlayStation. It does make a lovely bark, even though it's not real. It really does. The car was so quick, it decided to just throw my phone mount off of the windscreen. So, a couple other things I like about this car compared to a GTI. The interior, as I was saying earlier on, is near enough the exact same. There is no real difference. I like the VRS bucket seats. They're very comfortable. They hold you extremely well. Not that you're going to be taking corners at 150 mile an hour, as if that will ever matter. And a lot of people always, like a lot of journalists and stuff like that, always give out about, oh, the seat doesn't really support you. Mate, you are not going to be going around the track at 150 mile an hour in a 2-litre VRS. It's just not going to happen. Like, this car is just for batting around in, going to work, picking up the kids from school. That's all it is. If you want the track car, buy a Porsche GT4 if you can afford it. Left says go to Navan and Wilkinstown, and right says Kings Court and Nobber. In all honesty, red isn't my favourite colour. I don't really like red on any car, but on this car it suits it well. It has nice black panels. It has the red brake calipers as well, which ties in really well with it. It also has the really nice alloy wheels on it as well, the spec alloy wheels you should have on this car. The interior in this car is just really well thought out. Apart from, right, I know every other motoring journalist has ever said this, but what was wrong with the heater controls that were already there? Just put them back. I'm sorry, just I hate this, having to go into the screen, having to go looking for what temperature you wanted at, and then sometimes if you start turning down your temperature on one side, the whole thing just kicks in, and then you're just spurting out loads of air conditioning that you didn't want in the first place. So there was nothing wrong with the knobs, so please bring back the knobs, please. Just gonna stop moaning now. Yes! I feel like the need to do an Italian flick every time I change gear, but I love these new automatic gearboxes. They're just so quick and so responsive. They're miles better than any manual car out there at the minute. And I know all the purists will say, oh, but a manual car, you feel the road, you can change the gear. This, look at this. Could you do that? Because I couldn't. It's not with a clutch. What a car. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to launch the car. So it said, Skoda said that it does 0 to 60 in about 6.7 seconds. Let's just see. It's a lovely dry day. We've got a limited slip diff. We're going to put it in sport mode. Traction control and everything's on. I'm not going to mess with that, because who turns off the traction control in real life? And not me anyway, that's for sure, because I don't want to end up in a hedge. Right, so foot mashed on the brake, foot mashed on the accelerator, and 3, 2, 1. Because do not brake. I think it's time that we take a walk around and see what the story is with the Skoda Octavia RS. Now, from the outside, it is a striking looking machine. Now, I have to say, I love the new alloy wheels, I love the new design language, I love the new lip spoiler, I love the way that it's just a lot more subtle than the older shape ones. Now, a lot of people might not agree with me on this one, but I think this one just looks just a bit meaner, like it with the boot lip spoiler instead of the actual up and over spoiler. I think it just, I don't know, it just sits well on it. They also included the black badging along the back, which is a very, very nice feature, I have to say. There's the RS model there, kid. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this Skoda has a massive booty. Wait till you see the size of this thing. Holy moly. Now this one has the added rubber floor mats, so that is a nice feature. What else do we have in here? That's just the boot floor. Do we get a spare alloy wheel? Absolutely not, but it looks things. No, a donut wheel. No one gets any spare alloy wheels anymore. What do we have in the boot? We can drop the back seats from here. Very handy. Some storage bins, shopping bag hooks. What's this do? That's for tying up victims, or what is it for? I have no idea what that's for. Anyway, that's the booty. No button to retract the boot though. That's a bit controversial, you know. I thought it would have had a button to close the boot. Back seats, what have we got going on back here? Plenty of room, plenty of space. As you can see, it's the exact same as the build of a GTI, near enough. I like the rubber floor mats throughout. That's a very nice touch. I'm sure they're an optional added extra, but definitely worth the purchase, as you can just rinse them off and they've nice channels in them, so when your kids do eventually vomit all over the back seats, it's easy to clean up. Yeah, so on the back doors here we have a nice suede finish. All the plastics are all very nice, piano black, lovely looking door handles, plenty of space in the door bins. Have we got cup holders in the middle? Absolutely, and they're there where they should be, not in the middle. I like that. Ski hatch as well, very handy. What else have we got? USB-C charging points back here, AC vents, a little pocket for things. What else have we got going on? Now, into the front, where this is where all the magic is happening. Same suede finish throughout, electric windows all around, the lovely new bucket seats, lovely big shoulder bolsters on them as well. I have to say I really like those seats. They're very nice, very comfortable as well. Isofix in the front as well, very handy. You got your nice armrest that does lift up and down and slides back and forth, very nice. Cup holders are a tiny bit small, I will say that. They do fit a cup in it obviously, but not very big. And I like the way they have RS badging all over the shop, because you want to know you're in something special and not something boring. The infotainment screen, I like all this. This should turn on, or maybe you have to have the ignition on. Oh, there it is. Turns on, Apple CarPlay, all the usual antics. As I was saying earlier on, I don't like the fact that you have to use the touchscreen to adjust the climate control. I think that's it's a bit much for people. Little gear gator here, that could be a bit more special looking, but it looks okay. It's not the end of the world really, is it? A gear gator. The outside, as I was saying before, the CarPlay decided to cut me off. The front of it is very, very BMW looking, I have to say. It looks very aggressive. You've obviously got the new big radar box in the middle to stop you going into Mary, stopped at a red light. Has the nice black, they're all painted black as well. It's not just wrapped in black plastic. Fog lights, very, very nice. And the LED lights on this as well, they're the Matrix headlights on this one, and they are lovely at night time, I have to say. Really are nice. And as I was saying, why I like these Skodas more than a GTI, like they have a little hook there for your parking tickets. Also has the umbrella in the door, which is a very, very charming touch, I have to say. That would get you inside the door on the first date, if you know what I mean. What else have we got? Yeah, it's just good news the whole way around it, really. The red really sets it off. I'm not, as I was saying earlier on, not a massive fan of red cars, but today with the sun out this particular afternoon, lovely, very nice. Yeah, the interior of the car from the driver's point of view, a nice, it's not that thick, this steering wheel, but it's actually really nice, really slender steering wheel. Of course, all the buttons on the steering wheel, I'm not going to explain to you what those are, but you'll get the idea. A fully digital dash as well, so you can change the screen to whatever it takes your fancy, really. This screen also has Apple CarPlay, sat nav and everything in this one. Not that you'd ever use sat nav on the car system anymore because of Apple CarPlay, you just use Google Maps, but there you are, you have loads of different things to play around with. You've got your USB-C points down here. This is your gear changing orator, that's it, put it back into park. Cup holders, plenty of little storage bits for your phone, your AirPods, that's on my wallet and stuff like that down there. Yeah, it's actually a really nice place to be, I have to say. It's really well spaced out, so like I'm really tall and I have plenty of room around my knees. This is with my seat back all the way. You've got your cruise control down here. Again, you can talk to it if you're feeling lonely, or you just need a shoulder to cry on. Just come out and talk to the Skoda and you'll be fine. All your light switches are down here. Not that you'll never have to touch them, because you just leave it on auto and leave it there. You've got all your nice buttons here. So this is your driving mode. You can put it into normal, sport, individual. Actually, let's see what we can do with individual mode. Can we mess around with this? Steering normal, chassis normal, sport, they're all just sports. You can set the air conditioning on your mode. That's mad. Anyway, you get the gist. You can figure this one out yourself. If you're gonna buy one of them, I'm not gonna show you how to set it up. You'll figure it out yourself. You can turn your climate control on here, your window on max, rear window heated. Set, what does this set mean? Set, start, stop. Oh, so that's how to figure out your vehicle settings. Anyway, I'll leave that where it is. That's the interior. You got a nice big glove box too. You can fit bits and pieces in. Door pockets are a really good, decent size. You can stroke your lights to turn them on. Humans work the same way. If you stroke them, usually turns them on. So I've heard. This is up here for your sunglasses, etc. Your mirror, so you can look at yourself. Hello. That's really it, really. Mirrors are a great, decent size. They're also retractable when you lock the car. Great visibility, as you can see. You can have a look around yourself. Very, very decent visibility, and it's just a nice place to be. What's the horn sound like? Yeah, pure decent horn bike. Now, so everybody, if you enjoyed this video, please hit a like and definitely subscribe if you can. It just basically lets more people know what we're doing here and what's going on. I'd also like to make a big thanks to Robbie in Western Motors and Skoda. So if you are looking for an Octavia VRS, please get in contact with Robbie Matthews in Skoda Western Motors. He is the man. He knows everything about Skoda. Skoda is his baby, so get in contact with him. And thanks again to Western Motors for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you have a car that you want to feature on the channel, whether it be a Toyota, a Nissan, whatever it is, please drop me an email at iangrantdetailing@gmail.com. I would love to feature something and work with you, and we can do something, of course. So guys, thanks a million for watching. I do like the content that's coming in the next couple of weeks as well, and everything we're doing so far. I really enjoy making these videos, and it's just something that I think the world needs to know about. So guys, thanks a million for watching. Usual crack. I'll see you next week. See you later on. Enjoy yourselves.